everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episodes 9 and 10 of Kid Cosmic. Yeah, we're at the final two episodes of the season. And while we're definitely, obviously, continuing on with the future seasons, we are going to be taking a break between seasons, as we usually do with our shows. But we have these two episodes to finish it off first. So, how are we going to end up taking on all these different enemies? How are we going to saving the day, getting all the power stones back, dealing with the Earth Defense Force or whatever the fuck they're called, the Ginyu Force. Let's just call them that. There's a lot to worry about, a lot to figure out, and we have to get the gang back in possession of the stones. And how are we going to do that? Are we going to just have to convince the government that, you know, they're safe with our group of heroes? That seems like probably the only thing, because as I've made clear, it's like it's very obvious that the bad guys here, that the government, are not bad guys. You know what I mean? The bad guys are, the real bad guys are the alien invaders. The government here, they're just doing their jobs, basically. And yeah, they're doing it in a very aggressive, not the best kind of way, but they're still trying to protect Earth and protect the people on it. They're just, you know, the government. So they're going to handle it extremely stupidly. So I have a feeling they could be convinced to allow Kid and them to keep the power rings, as long as, you know, it's proven that they can handle it. And we're going to have to see how that goes. So we have the two episodes here, and then we kind of just move into whatever's going to be next. And I'll talk about, like, in the afterthoughts, the replacement for those, although it's obvious because I've already talked about it and it was already going to be coming back anyway, but I'll talk about it in the afterthoughts. Let's just get to this for now and see how this season ends. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. And yes, I'm getting emotional. Deal with it. I've said it before, but I tend to get emotional, not just at, like, sad things or whatnot, but also, like, really hype things. Yeah, this series has impressed me beyond anything I could have imagined. I checked it out of just genuine curiosity, and I never could have thought it could be this good. And this finale kind of showcases that. While you could possibly complain about the fact that the day was basically saved by talk no jutsu, as people like to call it, the idea of, like, just talking out the issues and everything and resolving it that way. Kid did also, you know, use the stone to get everybody to basically be unable to stop him from talking to him. So, powers saved the day, too. But even outside of, like, just trying to stop, you know, the government, which, again, the government as a whole wasn't bad, so I was right on that. It was just, the part I was wrong about was that the biker dude was a bad guy. He was. And in the end, he didn't even, like, get any redemption or anything. He just kind of like, I guess, gave up. um, but we get to talking and we find out the truth of everything. That the Stones of Power are in reality the last remnants of these destroyed planets. That a malevolent evil known as Erodius the Planet Killer destroyed the home planets of these aliens, and that these Stones of Power allow the wielder to utilize the natural abilities of those planets' inhabitants. And that through their grief, through their pain, these aliens were able to find each other and become a sort of family. Which makes the fact that most of them die at the end actually a lot more fucking tragic. Like, holy shit. They'd become like this family together, but then Erodius returned and killed them, except for Queen Shan. And it's like, Jesus fuck. Okay. This show's not holding back. But on top of like that, like, we know this show's willing to go to some dark places, like just with the discussion over kids' parents, and in these episodes we actually get to see the moments right before their death, because that's fun. That's what I wanted to see today. I wanted to see like the moment kids' parents died. Okay. Jesus fuck. This series is something else, man. Like, the fact that it's willing to go to these dark, emotional places, and that it's not going to hold back on that. Excuse me. Is impressive. Because there's a lot of shows that would. And there's a lot of shows nowadays that have been allowing a lot more darkness, a lot more intensity in. Obviously, stuff like Amphibian the Owl House, for example. But there's still a lot of shows that are afraid to go as far as they could. And I think maybe being on streaming helps this one. Being on streaming tends to help a lot of them, to be fair. Because it gives a lot more freedom. If you're on network TV, you just, have a lot more to deal with in terms of censorship and whatnot. But when you're on streaming, you can get away with a lot more because it's a lot more free of a medium. So showcasing that with a lot of these streaming shows, we've gotten stuff that has like touched on a lot of like great representation that you just unfortunately don't see enough of in the network stuff. Although it's getting better at that, but anytime a show gets too good at that, it ends up getting canceled. I don't think I need this on anymore. Not really. Anyway, point is, I like what they're doing with this and how far they're willing to go. Like, it's still very much like a family, like, friendly show. Like, they don't, like, say the words, like, death and that these, aliens were, like, murdered. They instead just say they didn't survive. Which, it's like, we know what that means, but, like, to a kid watching this, it's like, yeah, they'll get it. But at the same time, it's like, it won't, like, be as harsh. And that's what it's kind of going for. Kind of getting that perfect balance between the heavy, depressing, dark themes and ideas, and the more fun, cutesy style of it all. I think having that balance is good. And then we have a big cliffhanger at the end where Queen Shan transports the diner and everything, everyone in it and around it, to space. Which, yeah, that's interesting. That's definitely quite a cliffhanger to leave off on. And now we know there's 3 seasons. So we know this isn't going to all be resolved in season 2. We're probably not going to. Well, we might see Herodias in season 2, but we're not going to come head to head with them until season 3. Unless Herodias isn't the final villain, which would be even wilder at this point. I also like that the trucker, the biker, whatever you want to call him, I like that he wasn't fully redeemed in the end, that he just kind of gave up and let it just go. But he didn't like accept their invitation to come to like the diner with them and everything. I like that. It's like he wasn't like redeemed like the Earth Force Defense Force were. But at the same time, he just let it go. He stopped chasing them. He left and everything, and all worked out. Now, could he possibly come back and cause trouble again? Yes. Yes, he could. I don't know if he will, but he could. And we'll tackle that when we get to it. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, for now, we lead off into season 2, which we will get to in the near future. I don't know exactly when at this point, but when we're able to. For now, though, let's talk about what is replacing this. I've already talked about it before. You guys should already know. We are going back to Symphogear G. Not really a big surprise because we were only taking a break from Symphogear G in the first place. We only checked out this show to take a break from that one. Because Symphogear G was getting pretty damn heavy. And at the time, I was having trouble with that. I want to make it clear to you all. It's like, I can watch heavy stuff and I can get into heavy stuff. In fact, a lot of times I really enjoy it. Because it's emotionally powerful to me. And that kind of shit is an appeal for me. But sometimes that heaviness can be just a lot to handle. It's one of those situations where I get like really in a bad place mentally. And it's not healthy for me, to say the least. Because like I make no secret of it on the channel, but for anyone who might not know, I have dealt with a lot of depression and anxiety in my life to the point where it has caused me in the past to be suicidal. So, dealing with a lot of like really heavy shit, especially when it's just go, 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 like Symphogear G was, it didn't give me a chance to breathe, and I felt, for lack of a better way to put it, claustrophobic. I felt like it was all just closing in around me, and it was like really suffocating me with its intensity. And don't get me wrong, I was still enjoying the shit out of it. It was still very good. But the fact that it wasn't really giving me a break to breathe, that it was like just go, go, going without any kind of like satisfying like break between that and all, it was too much for me to handle at the time, and I needed to take a break. Because if I didn't, it could have ended in some very very bad emotions, let's just say, that would have put me into like a very bad place. It would have irreparably hurt my interest in the series, and it could have possibly drastically hurt my desire to record reactions. And again, it's like I just wasn't in the place for it at that time. So coming back to it now, I'm not like saying that it's going to cause problems for me again. At that time, I was just not in the right headspace for that kind of thing. I was not like doing well enough to be able to handle that. But now I am. I feel like I'm going to be able to tackle that kind of thing a lot easier now. So Symphogear G will be returning. We'll probably get to the first or the next episode, whichever episode it was that we left off on, next week. I don't see there being any time to get to it this week. So, but yeah, we will get back to that. I apologize to everyone who's been waiting for that and everything. It is finally back. But yeah, we should be good to go. And the fact that we left off on such a huge cliffhanger, I'll talk more about that in the actual reaction next time, but the fact that we did leave off on such a huge cliffhanger kind of makes it exciting to come back to it after this time. And I very much do not regret taking that time off, just because like I got to see Kid Cosmic and I'm hyped about that. I'm excited that I got to experience this show. And yeah, like I said, we'll definitely be getting back to seasons 2 and 3 in the future. Just don't know exactly when yet. Gonna depend on just a few factors here and there. We'll see. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of these final 2 episodes of Kid Cosmic Season 1? No spoilers, obviously. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. And I'm excited for both Season 2 when we get to that, and for the return of Symphogear G. For now, though, I'm Connie, and yeah, I'm signing off. So I'll see y'all next time.